Hello, my name's Cassie and I've just started to do Module 1. Spent about 3 days going through the 18 different areas that impact on my life in a negative sense and hence affect business. I'd like to start with probably the biggest one for me is resentment. Probably the biggest one, and most women feel this way, is division of labour. So it not only affects your relationship with your partner, but also your immediate family or whoever you're living with. Sometimes it seems unfair that, it's a 75 to 25 ratio of how much work and responsibility gets done. But most women that I know, and certainly myself, we don't really talk the talk. We do what we have to do. We act, and we do it without complaining. It doesn't mean we're not complaining inside. The fact that we take up a martyr role, which I do, often gets me into trouble, it makes me unhappy. And there are many other reasons why resentment is such a strong pull for me, and that it affects my personal life and my business life. Without actually saying that I'm a transformologist, because I'm not. I've only just started this course. But I do have my own business, and my partner has a business. And the division of labour is often a very conflicting, emotional roller coaster. I'm not one to complain, but certainly complain inside, and don't always share that, and hence, like a volcano, it often builds up and comes out in a very negative way. I'd really like to stop this, because when I do get to exploding point, it affects my relationships, and all I need to really remember to do is to ask. And when I do ask, I'm usually very frustrated and feel it's all very unfair for me. And I don't always communicate in the most effective way. That's a block I really would like to stop, and have more control over how I do communicate, to communicate positively, effectively and honestly is important. That steams into the next one, which is overwhelmed. Because as women we have so many balls in the air. It's not a story that is unfamiliar to any of us. Job, business, kids, husbands or partners, animals, it all falls on us sometimes. The division of labour, as unfair as it is, we have to keep the ball rolling. Often, as a case for me, I feel very overwhelmed. When I'm overwhelmed, I often do resort to resentment and anger because I don't communicate why I'm feeling overwhelmed, or even sometimes I'm not aware why I'm feeling overwhelmed. What I've learnt so far, and I'm only at Module 1 and very, very new to this, is how women think. And I used to kick myself because I was always trying to be in a man's world. Goal setting and making lists. And yes, they work, but when the hormones hit and we hit a moon phase and we become inconsistent, we beat ourselves up. And that's exactly what I do. That's usually when feeling overwhelmed becomes too much for me. And another thing I'd really like to address. I don't have to be my own dream team. I actually have one. That's what really inspired me to actually fork out the time and the energy and the money for Creatrix Transformology, is because the thought of always having a dream team around me, experts, been there, done that, women who know exactly what you're thinking and why you're thinking it, because they've been through it themselves, was such a strong pull. I don't want to keep feeling overwhelmed or resentful. I don't want to keep stuck, and I don't want negativity to affect my family life or my personal life in terms of my friendships, and certainly not my professional life in my teaching or in my breeding business that I have with my partner and our farm. So there's a lot of balls to juggle, like I said, and I don't think I'm any different to any other woman. The last one that I'd like to talk about well, actually it's not the last one because I've got to talk about 5. So this is number 3. They sort of all flow into one another, and that is not feeling good enough. Always, from a young child, probably around the age of 9 or 7, it's all a bit of a blur, this feeling hit me like a ton of bricks. Hence, feelings of unworthiness as well. Not feeling good enough, how does that affect my personal life? Well, it makes me very reticent to actually make decisions. I am a good decision maker. When I make a decision, it's usually a good one. I haven't always made great decisions, of course. We all learn from our mistakes, but I don't want to make a mistake. I have such a huge fear of failing because I don't feel that I meet the grade. Inside me, I don't know, I just feel like there's a missing link. I feel like there's, I'm going to find it, and one day it's just going to hit me, and it's going to change my whole perception of everything. I am hoping and praying, I guess, that going through the Creatrix sessions is going to help bring those questions to the surface, and that they'll be answered, and that I will have a sense of completeness because I will learn that I am good enough. The next one is feeling responsible. It stems from, all the other ones that I've talked to, but I think as women we just feel so responsible because we do hold it together. We are the centre of our family, and when mummy goes away, often things break down. Often relationships break down, and you find that over the phone you're actually being the mediator when you don't really need to be, but you are. And just not getting a break mentally is a tiring process. There's a lot I could say about being responsible. Often being responsible puts me once again in a martyr role. I don't want to play a martyr role. It doesn't lead anywhere good, but I sometimes feel pushed into a corner because of the responsibilities of being a mother and a woman bring. Often I feel that I would like to be reincarnated as a man or as a dog, someone's dog on their lap, just letting the world go by. Feeling resentful, being overwhelmed, feeling so much responsibility, feeling not good enough, all these things stop me from flowing. When I was listening to a lot of the videos before I decided to take the plunge and actually join the course, those words really resounded in me about being a river and flowing. I go with the flow. I learnt to do that working in special education. It really brought out that ability in me in a great way, and I actually taught a lot of my staff to be the same, because you don't know what's going to happen next. You have to be ready for everything. So I want to keep flowing. I want to keep moving and improving, and but also accepting myself and helping other women to do the same, to not be stuck in guilt, which is probably my last one. I could go on about other ones. They're all pertinent at some point in our thing. Guilt holds us all back in such a way, and it's a game. It's a game. I'm tired of playing the game. I'm tired of listening to the ego instead of the spirit. We all have a spirit, and our soul is what makes us feel free. It empowers us whether we're a woman or a man. And I want to let go of guilt because it's just a trap, and it's a real spiraling, unhealthy mindset. But there is so much guilt in everyone's life, and in mine too. Guilty that there's certain things I can't consistently do. So in my journey, and understanding myself better as a woman and as a human being, once again I have high hopes that guilt will just be a faded memory, that I don't need to play that game anymore, and if it pops its ugly head up, that it's gone. I really don't have anything to feel guilty about, and nor do I want to. 10 minutes. You should listen to me for 10 minutes. I get so bored talking about myself. I haven't loved doing this. It's been really emotional. It's really brought up a lot of things in my family. Great conversations, a bit of clearing, but realising there's so much more to clear out before we're all happy and whole. But hey, that's not my job. My job is just to make myself happy and whole. And along the way, hopefully people will come and join me. So I look forward to my first Creatrix with Helen, and my second and third, and then to actually learn to do it and help someone else is why I joined this program too. The thought of helping other people, is exciting. I don't get excited about many things, but it's exciting, and probably don't get excited too much because, like everyone else, you feel so overwhelmed with all the things that you have to do that excitement just sometimes feels like another chore. That's pretty sad, but that's how I feel. So thank you for listening, and maybe some of my words may help someone else along the way, but everyone has their story. I want to let go of my story. I want to hear other people's stories, and I want to flow. I want to be like those women on the videos that say they can't believe that person was actually them talking. That excites me. So signing off, thanks for listening. Bye.